Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about the Haslab Dragonfly and why this backed in a day, a little over a day, why I'm in on 3 of these, why this is a good value for the most part, why it backed so fast. But if you're here for Retro Wednesday, I am going to be pushing the Super GoBots video till next Wednesday, so no Retro Wednesday today. I'm catching up on some reviews, and I think this is some really big news. So let's get into talking about Haslab. And I do want to say I've got some ideas about the unlocks, and I do have one negative. It's not about this, but it's about going forward with G.I. Joe as Haslab. So talk about all this coming up. So I think we really got to start with the base offering. So what are you getting with this base offering? You're getting everything in this picture. You're getting the actual Dragonfly, which is very updated, great looking, awesome looking Dragonfly. You're getting one figure right out of the gate with the Wild Bill. You're getting a stand. You're getting a whole bunch of accessories that are all listed here, pictured right here, and all of that good stuff for $275. And then past that, you get some unlocks. So at $13,000, you get Ripcord. Now, this is Ripcord in the Night Force getup, and so one of the things about this is that it seems like they're on a trend, and what they're doing is releasing figures that were not originally part of these subgroups with these Haslabs, which just kind of seems like their trend. But anyway, there's also going to be 2 more, one at 16,000, one at 19,000, so a potential of 4 figures. And since we've already unlocked the 10,000, almost 11,000 in the first day, I'm pretty sure we'll hit that 19,000, unlock all of that. I don't really see them adding unlocks past that, but it may be a possibility. There may be some surprises, but I highly doubt it because they haven't done it in the past. Now, I will share my thoughts on who the other unlocks are after we kind of get through all of the stuff with the base offerings and all that kind of stuff. But this is the Wild Bill, and of course, they don't even call him Wild Bill. They call him something else. Oh yeah, William Hardy. And it does say Wild Bill in there, so William Hardy, Wild Bill is his nickname, all that kind of stuff. So kind of fun right there, but you do get 2 different hair pieces. And I don't know, it really did not work very well with Lady J, but maybe they've perfected it to where it works well here. And I don't know, I probably would have rather had a swappable head, but I'm still okay with it. I think it's a great looking figure and some great options right there. Everything seems to work really well. We haven't actually seen this in action yet because the figure was literally a statue and everything was glued down, but he looked pretty good, and we pretty much know the quality of classifieds. Well, it's kind of slipped lately, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a solid figure. So all of this is $275, and if you have the premium, you don't have to pay the shipping, so it's free shipping. If you don't have premium, the Hasbro premium, Pulse premium, then you're going to have to pay shipping. So, and I think shipping is like $50 if you don't have the premium, something along those lines. So anyhow, it's kind of worth it to get premium if you're going to be getting it on this, especially if you're going to be getting 3. Now, I'm going to be getting 3 of these, so I think it's that great of a value. And I wouldn't have said that about some of these past ones. It's turning into kind of a cluster or a grouping of items. If you take 4 figures, $275 minus 100, because they're now $25 figures. So this is a $175 for the Dragonfly, which I can live with that. Alright, so the actual Dragonfly itself is going to be 34 inches long, and it is a 2-seater like the original. Has a lot of upgrades from the original. So one of the upgrades from the original is that we get to have opening panels that reveal the machine guns and the inner workings, and there's several opening panels that go on there, so it's pretty cool that they do kind of stuff like that. Lots of different options when it comes to how you mount the weaponry and all of that kind of stuff too. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting, the ideas that they're putting out for this to make it better than the original. And the original was one of my favorite toys. It really was. But now that I kind of see what you can do with this, it is quite impressive. So I think that they're pulling out all the stops on it and doing a really good job here. Other features include kind of the gull wing canopies so we saw this with the Hiss tank, and you can have a gull wing in the front and in the back. So the rear is the actual pilot, the front is the gunner, and you can do some pictures and stuff and show them getting into their seats like this. That is something that is possible. And you can also open the cockpit canopy like normal and all those kinds of things. And then, yeah, as you can see, we have more armory and more missiles that connect to the side. And it is different. It's showing that it is a very improved, more sophisticated version for your 6-inch classified. There's going to be a lot of light up features. I know that they are specifically going to light up the panels there. I don't know if the blast effects are going to light up. Battery is not included, so I don't know 100% on all that. And I'm sure we're going to find out more as we go, but people have already plopped their money down. They're buying this no matter what, whether it had the electronics in it or not. I kind of think that the electronic gimmicks are something that would be fun for 30 minutes when you get it, but probably not used, other than maybe photography, but not used down the road much. And that's where I've kind of come. I loved the lights and sounds and stuff back in the day, but lately it's just been kind of a pain keeping batteries in them, and are you keeping fresh batteries in there and all that kind of stuff, and then for something you use 2-3 times a year. So they got some effects to make the missiles look like they're actually shooting. They've got a trail, a fire trail there, a smoke trail, and so that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting, and something that we don't really see much of, but this is kind of like, in my opinion, this is way over the top the way they did this, and I'm sure there's multiple other features you can use this for the missile. Probably there's a place to hook it into the Dragonfly itself and all that kind of stuff, but this is cool. It's cool, it's interesting, and again, something like this is a bit over the top. That's just a huge, giant chunk of transparent plastic. Now, as for the size of it, it's impressive, but it's not as impressive because it's thin and long, 34 inches long on a thin vehicle. It'd be different if it was a 34 inches long as maybe, say, a whale, but that wouldn't be 275. A whale would probably be 600. I'm guessing a whale would be probably 600. So with that, that's part of why the price point's kept lower. And part of that is because you have to hit 10,000, which they blew through 10,000 in a day. So 10,000 backers. Well, it's actually not 10,000 backers. It's 10,000 ordered. A lot of Joe collectors order 2, 3, 4, 10. Some collectors order 10. So it may only be 300 backers or 3,000 backers backing 10,000. And that's probably pretty close to the right number. 3,000 backers that have backed 10,000. So that's something along those lines. But with it, it's an excellent price point, an excellent value, and I was kind of thinking it could be a whale, but if it was a whale, there's no way it'd be 275. Okay, so now kind of getting down to who's gonna be unlocked at 16,000 and 19,000. So to get that value, the $275 to that value and $100 worth of figures, we're obviously gonna hit the 19,000 if it goes at this pace, and probably hit 30 if it keeps going at this pace. And so I've got a couple of ideas. Some other people threw out some ideas here and there, but I'm trying to kind of take the formula that they've put in front of us, and I've looked at a few things. So one of the hints is that they wanted to have some sort of carryover or some sort of correlation from one Haslab to the other, which is why we got the Night Force ripcord. And that makes sense. Okay, so one of the hints I'm thinking they're saying is that we're going to see something in this. Maybe we're getting a Scarlet. Maybe we're going to get a Scarlet with this. Who knows? And if we got a Scarlet, would it be the same type of Scarlet we see here? Or could this be like a precursor to a new version of Scarlet? So there's a lot of questions going on right there. It's a possibility that we can get a new Scarlet with a new sculpt, but painted in maybe Night Force or painted in some other direction. I mean, that's a possibility that's right there. Possible. Or we could get another radar intercept officer or something along those lines. Probably not Ace, but if we did get Ace, it would make a lot of sense too. If we did get Ace, there's no chance of them making a Sky Striker in Haslab, is there? And with that, is this how we get Ace? And I'm okay with actually getting pilots on their own without vehicles. You know, how else are we going to get pilots like, say, the Defiant pilots, Payload, and Hardtop? How would we get those if we didn't get them without the vehicles? Because there's zero chance of getting a Defiant. So it would make sense to maybe get an Ace. Who knows? But if they did an Ace, or they did these guys, I really think it would kind of be a disservice to those who aren't really going to be back in this. Other ideas for figures that they could include for unlocks would be maybe Crazy Legs, because that was a Night Force figure, or maybe Muskrat, which was a nice a Night Force figure. But you could also say those would be figures that would be a reveal for a mainline release in standard colors. So all that stuff makes sense. That all makes sense. But what makes the most sense would be a figure of a character that's never been made for Night Force before and is prominent in the line. Maybe they do a Night Force General Hawk. I don't know. I'm sure there's going to be 100 people in the comments telling me why that would be impossible. There's no possibility that would make no sense, but sounds like something fun, just an idea to throw out there. Okay, so now it's time for me to get into the negatives of these G.I. Joe Haslabs going forward. Now, it has nothing really to do with the Dragonfly, but one of the first negatives is that now that they've made this, will they remake it as the Tigerfly? And so that's a big question that's out there. When they do that, then will it be the same value? They've already paid for the mold, so I would think for $275 we should be able to get 5 or 6 figure unlocks and some extra accessories and stuff to go with it if they ever did the Tigerfly. And it gets into sort of unprecedented territory because they haven't made this in a Haslab and remade it a second time with a different color yet. Although the small print does say, and it did even say it with the katana, the very first one, that they reserve the right to put it out again if they change the box or the color or the paint color or something about it. They could reissue it again. They still haven't done it yet, but this seems to start getting into that territory that could be a sticky situation down the road and makes them feel a little bit less special. But would you want a Tigerfly? So the next negative for all of these vehicles for G.I. Joe classified as Haslabs and all that kind of stuff is the fact that they're probably not going to be able to make them all. So they're only going to be able to make a select few over the course of how many years of this. When you think about it, really probably one Haslab per year. So over the next 10 years, there's 10 vehicles that are big vehicles. I do like that we're getting the Trouble Bubble and all that kind of stuff. But what else could they make? How far could they go? How deep could they go? And how many of these vehicles would actually fund? Well, there's quite a few of them. I'm sure at least a dozen would easily fund. And with that, you can get supporting $50 vehicle with one figure for the smaller range. So that's kind of cool. The Haslabs are for the mid-range, and the big ones just don't make sense to get made. So with that, the problem going forward is how many could they make, and how many of these, where's the line drawn for whether or not it should be one of the $50 ones that include a figure that's maybe a fan channel or Hasbro Pulse exclusive versus a Haslab that might be a little bit too small. As they keep going smaller and just adding some more figures, that could be a negative down the road. I really do like that the Trouble Bubble, you can get as many as you want for $50, and that makes a whole lot more sense. Trouble Bubble should not be a Haslab, but could that be the size and scale that we see 6 years from now? So as it stands right now, I think this is a great offering. $275 with 4 figures, which probably will all get unlocked, so it makes it $175 and a whole lot of features. And the fact that if you are anything like me, the Dragonfly was one of your top vehicles as a kid and enjoyed it. And even a lot of people that never really had the nostalgia for this because they didn't have this when they were playing with it. Some people had the Tigerfly, so they could sort of understand it. And some people didn't have it at all, can still appreciate that it is an awesome looking helicopter and all that kind of stuff. But let me know what you think in the comments below. And of course, like and subscribe. Titanium Hanger out.